Good evening, Red Lion High School. My name is Douglas Ballard, and I am from Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania, and I'll be judging you today here at Manheim Central High School on October 28, 2017 in Field Visual. Hopefully my comments will be helpful to you, and good luck with your performance today. Okay, Red Lion, here we go. Good luck. Right at the bat, I'm definitely appreciating the execution here of this kind of crawl off the ground movement that's happening from everybody. I'm also definitely liking how everyone seems to really understand what their role is as they kind of move with this infected kind of oh my goodness, what is going on kind of feeling. Definitely appreciating the sell of the theatrics from these people. Yeah, definitely. I apologize for the long pause there. Just kind of taking in the execution of the effects, and now I'm going to come out here with the drum line because they're marching out here. Yeah, nice job of the execution of that higher tempo kind of movement there, drums. Bass drums, definitely appreciating the execution there, that turn as you kind of turn to bring your instruments into playing position. Nice job as we're kind of using this slow backup technique. Good concept of space as I walk along the clarinets. Really a good understanding of how much space is in there between your feet. Yeah, definitely appreciating the velocity shift alto saxophone near the 50-yard line. Contras, just be really, really careful. I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a disparagement about the space between your feet as you come into that halt there. Audience left 45. Just be really, really careful. I just felt like there wasn't quite the same amount of space. Although I do appreciate the execution of that lean forward as you finished in the halt there. Okay. Sticking with our rifles. Okay, rifles, be really careful. There's a little bit of a moment there where we're not quite 100% certain as to where, as you kind of did the one-handed spin to your knees and then brought it up over your head. Wasn't quite certain when that was supposed to occur. It wasn't quite timed together. Yeah, definitely appreciating the flags that were set up behind the rifles. Nice concept, especially that one-handed spin parallel overhead that they just did. Nice job with that one-handed parallel overhead. Appreciate it. Thank you. Also appreciating the difficulty of having to bring out these red uniforms. It's definitely an interesting thing to add to the guard work as they're doing that. So thank you very much. Yeah, woodwinds, definitely appreciating the execution and lean with the levels. We have some people really, really leaned over, and then it kind of escalates its way back through the group. Just one little comment about that as I'm kind of walking down the line. While I appreciate the fact that it had all those levels in there, make sure if you have a specific level that you have everybody in that level executing at about the third row from the 35 yard line there. Not everybody in that line was doing the same angular level, so it was kind of obvious as I was kind of looking down that line. So be really careful about it. Yeah, definitely appreciating the execution of those high velocity movements as you're kind of coming forward, especially with the execution here of the covers. I'm kind of looking down the audience left 35. Nice job, trumpets, baritones with that cover down as you're kind of looking down that line. So appreciating that. Thank you. Yeah, definitely appreciating the altered movement there from the altered movement as they come up to the brick wall. Nice direction change. Clarinets happen to be looking right at you as they had that little crossover, and then as you kind of definitely appreciating this kind of one leg work, with especially adding simultaneous responsibility, the difficulty of keeping your balance as you're trying to put your foot near your knee. Just make sure as you're kind of flexing that knee up to do that little lift that you're really thinking about your balance as you're doing that lift. All right, had a couple of you kind of lose it in the alto saxophone section as you're kind of lifting it up, so just be really careful. just be really careful. I have been watching the rotation of that the line that ends up on the 35-yard line there. Clarinets, alto saxophone. I felt like a lot of the other lines really had a good understanding of when they were supposed to hit that line together as a cover, and you had a nice diagonal rotation of that line. But that end line, it felt like it was standing on the 35-yard line, waiting for the first two people to get there. Yeah, definitely appreciating the execution here. Two clarinets, trumpets, front corner of this block where they're doing that like that AB like upper body rotation. Thank you. Yeah, definitely appreciating like the kind of the as you kind of like. As they kind of like were like they got down in that kneel, and definitely appreciate it as it came up the theatrics that were going on with that. Come out here with our color guard. Just be really, really careful, ladies, as I kind of come out. This like the group around the corner here, just definitely feeling like the color guard as they're kind of setting up this. That there was a little bit of a disparagement amongst the timing as they're setting up that work, as they're kind of building into bashing into the wall there. Just making sure that we have we're thinking about the counts, the ups and downs, the checkpoints, and make sure we have that going through. Because it felt like right as you were about to go towards the wall to do the like hit on it, it was like some people not really. Started losing the timing of their count work as they kind of were heading over there. So just be really careful. Definitely appreciating right now the use of velocity by taking a larger step size at a faster tempo. Alto sax, bass clarinet, tenor sax. Thank you. Yeah, definitely appreciating here the execution here of a lot of these larger velocity movements in our adding to the simultaneous responsibilities in our clarinet section. Gonna try to get out with our drum line because I haven't really been with them much today. Yeah, definitely appreciating right now the execution. Oh, nice direction change there, bass drums. Good. There seems to be a general good sense of space from all of our bass drums as they're kind of getting that as they're trying to move around in actually rather tight conditions. Nice job with that. Yeah, definitely appreciated the kind of like the execution of that, like turning on your light and being ready for when that flag passes over. And also appreciate right now the use of velocity by having a lot of those, a lot of direction changes and higher and faster movements as we're kind of like setting up this end here. Yeah, definitely appreciate that. That was clarinets that I was talking about just now. Just nice job as they're kind of figuring out the the movements of the clarinets as they're kind of setting up getting into that as they're kind of setting up getting into that like the infected kind of setup there. Definitely appreciate it as they're coming up towards the front. So I'm hoping that a lot of my comments were helpful to you. I think there's a lot of really great things going on there. A lot of upper body stuff that kind of like accentuates a lot of the higher velocity movements. Well executed in general. So if there's any questions about what I talked about today, I really think that this is on the right track for what it needs to be right now, and hopefully my comments have been helpful. And if there's any questions, we can discuss it at Critique. Good luck with the rest of your season.